computer. Here we go. Hey, one, two, three, four. Some call it shit, some call it poo, some call it caca, some call it human waste, some call it advertising. But that's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about actual human waste and a problem. Problem and how to look at it. Paul MacFarlane here with my good friend Lizanne Byrne. Lizanne, take it away. What is the problem?
You just thrown two things at me. You thrown at me poo and advertising. Is advertising poo? Or can you advertise poo? Make it let's sell poo or the lack of it. Where do you want to
I
go? So
choose
many
B,
areas.
please.
I want C, a combination of all.
Okay, but apparently there's a problem in the ecosystem.
Sorry, I missed that again. What's the problem
Apparently
when you
there is a problem in the ecosystem, in
poo?
the water.
Yeah. What was the thing? That was an advertising campaign, wasn't it? Something about in the water isn't what it ought to. What was that?
Oh, it's the water. That was something that was done years ago. But the
Mm.
problem of human waste and the water.
Um, well, we have poo in the water.
Do we now? Tell me more.
Well, I live in lovely California, Falmouth, UK, Cornwall, where we had the G7 press. We had the press, and then not far down the road, we had the G7 in St. Ives. So massive for Cornwall. Very beautiful place. Um, you'd like to think the UK is quite advanced with its sewage treatment. You know, we've gone a little bit further than the Charles Dickens novels. Yet, you can wake up in the morning, especially if there's been a lot of rainfall, or just randomly no rainfall. Like at the minute, we're undergoing a drought. We can't use our hose pipes. And suddenly there's a sewage warning, shit in the water. They don't quite say it, shit in the water, but you hear there's a problem, and then Surfers Against Sewage, who are the charity body that got very annoyed because when you used to be surfing in the water, maybe 15 years ago, possibly 20, you would literally see sewage float by.
Well, now, when you say
Now,
sit in the water, what do you mean the water?
oh, sea, in the sea.
In the sea. Now, are there people in the sea?
Yeah, and even all year round now, because wild swimming's a big thing for us now. Wim Hof, have you heard of him over in
Yeah.
the States? Yeah. So
Yeah.
yes, then there's surfers, there's kids, everybody surfs. It used to be a niche thing.
So it's like a
Everyone,
shark attack. Everyone gets out of the water. Oh, poo attack. Everyone gets out of the water.
yeah, but you can't see it. It's microscopic. You just know that if you swallow it, you may be ill the next day. Literally.
Yeah, because it's true. You can't give yourself E. coli.
No, you
But
have to ingest it
somebody
somewhere.
else is.
Yeah, I know, which is even
Isn't
a
it
worse thought.
that's the something peculiarly human and maybe animals too. Like hair, while it's attached, we run our fingers through it, we smell it, we play with it. But as soon as hair is jettisoned from the body, there's something wrong with it. We love our skin until some of it flakes off, and then it's disgusting.
Mm.
Fingernails go up and down my back, oh, it feels so good until it comes off, then it's foul. So anything that's inside our body that comes out, ooh, see, there's something so primal about that and unacceptable.
Yeah, there's a brilliant book actually, which I must put in the link below that my daughter loves, and it's all about worms underground having their meal, and then they found a hair in it, and they're disgusted about where this hair has come from, and it's the story. Um, it goes on and on. It's very funny actually. It's got adult and child side, but I cannot think of anything worse. And I remember this one restaurant where I used to, when I was a student in Portsmouth, every time you went there, there's a bloody hair in the burger. I won't say the name because it's actually still out there, and hopefully they've stopped getting hairs. Even in one of the companies I work for,
Wait a minute, now
lunchtime.
there's hair and there's hair. If it was a human hair, or if it was a short, brisk little rat hair,
Well, I've had both. So the human hair in the beef burger restaurant, and then worse in work, someone lunchtime, couple of occasions, baguettes made in front of you. curly hairs. Has he got hair? No, he's bald. That's worrying.
Okay, so we have apparently a problem, at least in Falmouth and other parts of the UK too.
All of the UK's got an issue with sewage because the government has allowed water companies to emit their sewage. If they've tried everything that they can but can't quite cope with it, they can emit it. And that's what surfers against sewage are very angry about.
Okay, so we have a problem. Let's look at what it is. We have a problem where people, we're humans, we like to be in and near the water, swim in it, play in it, surf in it, drink in it, wash in it, right? Now, is this water that comes out of the tap is a problem too?
Generally not, no. It is the sea, yeah, because we have sewage systems that clean up the water, although there's lots of talk about plastic
So, in other words, people choose
hormones.
to live by the sea. Either they don't like the sea, they have to, or they like the sea. They like being near the sea. And being near the sea, at some point, you might go in the water. That's the big problem. So, well, let's see. How could you solve this problem?
Drain the seas?
Just poo in the sea. What do we do about it?
Well, make it the poo collection. That could be our, we don't need to do, we just all go and poo where there used to be water and there's no fish as well. Because they got mercury in them. That's not what you wanted to hear, though, is it?
Well,
Um,
everyone who swims in the water is pooing in the water. It's just when it's humans. See, that's the problem.
we don't poo. Let's create some plant protein food we eat that is so digestible. There's no waste, and we don't poo.
No waste at all, of course. The thing is that the initial problem would be public, right? You know, warning, 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 warning. Don't go in the water when this happens, and maybe when it happens, maybe don't go until someone tells you the tides have gone out on a few times to wash the beach and the sea. You know, you need a certification that the water is now reasonably poo free to swim in or surf in. Okay, that's
Mm.
one, education. Two, why is this happening? We got to stop this from happening. So humiliate the water companies, humiliate the government, humiliate the water utilities,
Hmm.
humiliate the government, whoever, you know, whoever's letting this happen, to humiliate them in a very broad way.
Yep.
But the other problem, a way to do it potentially is what if there was a campaign to make us shit less? And try to solve the problem from that way. Everyone change your diet and take these little capsules or whatever you do. Suddenly, where the size of our waste goes from this much to this much. And notice I'm not demonstrating with my hands. But the point is, if we produced, say, 46% less human waste every day, that could be interesting. So there could be far less shit in the water, maybe.
Great. Who's going to design it and develop it, or do we not worry about that?
Yeah, so in other words, you see, this is an example of a problem that's universal, universally repugnant, outrageous, unreasonable, troubling, obvious, and direct. And there's a lot of ways to think about it, a lot of ways to solve it, a lot of people to call responsibility to. Do we tolerate a certain amount of human waste in our world already?
I think we do. We just don't know that we do.
Yeah, that's it. I don't want to know.
Can I
That's
just say, when you flush the loo, always put the seat down because it has been proven, and I know a lot of people know this, but some people don't. It sprays everywhere. You will be inhaling your own.
well,
Can
yeah,
we
but
kill
again,
your
you can't give
feces?
yourself E. coli. But if you have a relationship with someone where you get very close to when they flush, then you may not want to do that. Even they may be your be all and end all and your lover supreme, you may not want to do that.
It's on your toothbrush. You will have poo on your toothbrush unless you put the lid down.
What's the safe distance between
I
toothbrush?
don't know. I don't know. I need to do like this microscopic experiment, but I think it goes quite far, depending on the power of your
Okay, but
flush.
quite far. I can't
Whoosh, about that much, I'm guessing.
about that much.
A
And
meter.
honestly, we have not met in person. I don't know her wingspan. I don't know her height, so I still don't know how to put a tape measure on to see whether it's safe or not. It's like those imponderables. I think I told you about the question from Ted Lasso when the conversation goes about the weight of the human soul, and Ted, Ted Lasso character, you know, Roy, he says, "Well, I mean, someone had to weigh someone, murder them, weigh him again." Ooh, you know, How do you figure the weight of the soul before death? It's ridiculous, but we like to think about it. So we like to think about how far the excrement sprays. Oh, now can we build up resistance though? Do we have a certain amount of other people's humans waste in our body already, and it keeps our body busy fighting it off? Is it really a problem we need to solve? At what line do we need to solve it?
I think maybe we should become dogs because dogs like eating poo, don't they?
Yeah.
Should we get dogs to solve the problem? They'll probably recycle it, like plastic pollution, we'll make it into new products. They're going to get the poo and make it into something we can eat. I
But
think
that's
that's the
the interesting thing.
answer.
Of all the animals, dogs are one of the ones we keep closest to us, but they're not the closest to us genetically. Pigs are. You can trade organs, and stem cells and whatnot between pigs. I always tell people if you eat pig pork, you're as close as you'll probably get to being a cannibal.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people are going against pork, but then there's a phrase, isn't there, like a pig in shit because it's so happy.
Well, see, almost every phrase has this way and that way, right? If I'm in shit right now, but if I'm a pig in shit, it's okay.
My son's going to love this. So, what did you talk about, Mummy, for 20 minutes or 50? Oh, I just talked about poo.
If it's language, communication language, I'll keep it on UK. Like I said, if you say something is really, it's the dog's bollocks.
Yes,
Something is
good
just,
shit.
yeah. Or here, we say something is shit or it's the shit. Yeah, we play with our language, but if we take human waste as a word and an expression, but now it might be getting in our orifices. Okay, we've just drawn the line. I'm not going in that water. How do you know it's okay now? How did you know it was too much? Is there someone whose job is to sit there all day long with a little beaker?
Well, this is what worries me. I asked the lifeguards today when I was down at the beach, and I said, this sewer thing then, sewage, where did it happen? I presume it's around the sewage treatment works. I went, oh no, it's between here and there. Like
Oh, they're
literally.
not telling you exactly.
Yeah, but I know it came out, but it came out between the sea that I go down to, Gilly Beach, and the headland where we used to have a swimming pool that's been shut down. So in between those two places, I can't swim anymore at a minute. And then I said, that's it. I didn't say shit because I didn't know them very well. Is there still a sewage problem?
Point is, how
No,
do
I don't
they
think so.
how do they test it, and how often do they test it?
I shit knows. I don't
Right,
know.
right, right. So it's like, oh, we haven't tested the water in 6 years. Better go and test it.
I think someone does, but I don't know who. And I don't. It's too. I don't
Okay.
know
The
how much good is
horror of the
enough.
idea, the absolute horror, biological horror of the idea, seems to point to I want to feel better about this. I want to know who's testing, and now I'm going to get involved in something I wasn't planning on being involved in. How much fecal matter is in the swimmable ocean? Someone's got to be responsible, and it's not going to be me. See, if someone says, what do they do? Get in the water, go salty, but I think it's okay. Wait, let me try over here. Not yet. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you're doing that to find out. I mean,
There might be some professor that does that. Professor Professor Feces. I can't even say the word feces. I don't know. I wouldn't really want to do the job. My son might do when he's little, and I
okay,
think when he grows up, he
right. But
wouldn't.
my point, the point of all this is the problem itself that is an actual problem of communication that might need an ad, it might need a design, it might need a message for the public, it might need a message from the public to points of authority, port of authority, that'd be different. Port of authority for fecal shipments. It's just, um, where is the problem and whose responsibility is it to solve it? Like, see, in marketing and branding and advertising, it seems pretty simple where the problem is and whose responsibility it is. Let's see, it's the client's responsibility to have a product or a service. It's a responsibility of research to find out what's going on and how people feel about things. It's the responsibility of the agency to produce the work that they see, and it's the responsibility of the public to watch it and buy it. Ooh. See, they don't want to be bothered, and we're bothering them.
Bothering them with their own shit. Well, first thing to bother someone with.
Right.
about
But
shit.
see here, but to our original problem, there's appears to be a lot of different ways to solve it, and a lot of different places to point the finger at, essentially. You know. Hmm.
What's the opposite of shit on the wheel, though?
Well, it's
If you,
tolerance, isn't it?
it's what?
It's tolerance. Where is our tolerance? I didn't know I had to think about this. Now you tell me. Now I have to set my tolerance. You know, if there was a problem of sewage in the water last year, I might get in the water. If there was a sewage problem last week, would I still get in the water? I don't know.
Okay, I get what you say, but I was thinking about purity. The complete opposite is the
Yeah.
purity, isn't it? And the problem with the sea is you don't know what's underneath, do you? There's all sorts.
Well, there's
But you know, don't
decaying
know.
animals of all kinds, and then gives off gases, from the bottom
Mm.
of the water where it goes down deeper and deeper. There's the animals that eat that, and then Mitch Hedberg, the comic, he said, "Boy, it's a good thing fish can't talk. Otherwise, the ocean would be loud as shit. He would just ow, 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 ow. Maybe they can
If
speak.
you've got an aquarium, which I have, you have to clean it out on a regular basis, the one that's there,
Oh,
because they literally shit in their own water, don't they? And that's what we're doing. But
well,
we're humans that don't have to stay in the water, but we
of
still
course they
shit
should
in our
in their
own
own water.
water.
Did you build them a loo and a little place to go outside the water? No.
Thing is, they're aquatic. We're land animals, but we still shit in the water.
It was
What's
a,
gone on?
actually, think about humans. At what point in civilizations did we start excreting into water?
I would have thought there's a lot of other places to put it rather than the water, wouldn't you? Generally,
Yeah. Yeah, if you're camping, you're supposed to,
the one we fish from, the one where the ecosystem is really important. That one. You
yeah.
wouldn't really want to eat something. I don't know who came up with that idea. What idiot?
Yeah, well, but see, things catch on, don't they? And that's not
Yeah,
bad.
let's put it in the water because we can't see it. But now we swim in it, we
What
worry
if
about it, don't we?
you dig a hole, a really deep hole, and you triple bury it, it goes into the ground like all animals do. You know, we haven't quite said yet whether human excrement is proper fertilizer or not. Animal excrement we use all the time. And there's, someone said here, I've got good gorilla excrement, it's good fertilizer. Would people say, oh yeah, put it on my tomatoes? But we think,
Well,
how
there
about,
is a zoo. There's a zoo where you can buy the cat food from big cats because it will scare off your normal cats. 'Cause
yeah,
that scent is going to really bother me. So I'm sure there's something in poo recycling. I think that's the answer.
yeah. So people's could be acceptable fertilizer. You start to make a circular economy around
Yeah,
it.
why not?
Purify, get what. It's all bacteria because bacteria is
Mm.
when the body dies. No, when we die and we are no longer in the body. Oh, that's another topic. There's still a life in the body. The fact that it breaks down all the bacteria means there's something alive in there that's consuming
Mm.
it and making that wonderful smell that a decaying corpse tends to give off. I
Do you
just
like
wonder.
that?
I just wonder if people who eat really clean, pure plant diet, do they smell worse as the body decays versus the meat eater? I don't know.
Oh, not sure about that one.
I'm not sure how I would even find out, and I'm pretty sure if I did find out how I could find out, I don't want to find out.
I don't want to know that either.
No.
And
Well,
and if you wanna do test run of shit, can you do it over like human shit? Just do it in the States first before we bring it to Britain. That's all right.
are
Yeah,
you
thanks.
kidding? The United States does everything bigger
Bigger and better, perfect.
and better.
Bigger poos. What better test?
We're so sorry about this topic. We apologize for talking about boo. Boo, boo. Probably never do it again. But if we do, we've warned you. See you until next time. This is Paul and
Lizanne,
cheers.
bye.